Welcome to the Thrive 25 in 5 podcast, where we provide a quick win to optimize your health and longevity in just 5 minutes. Welcome, everyone. I'm super excited about today's topic. It's something that's been an absolute game changer in my life. Turns out we're wired for negativity. We underappreciate when things go right and spend way too much time focused on what goes wrong. Like if I leave late but hit every green light and somehow make it on time, I might feel a sense of relief, but rarely do I celebrate that or give it much thought before quickly considering what's next of what I've got to do. Instead, if I hit all red lights, my cortisol spikes, I get frustrated, and I carry that with me the rest of my day. Now, this is tied to the theory of loss aversion, which is why most of us typically fear losing money more than we enjoy winning it. The amygdala, our fear center in our brain, creates a sense of anxiety when we face an unknown risk. So why is it our brains focus so much on the negative? Well, because for most of human existence, that's what kept us alive. Life revolved around always thinking about survival. An unsuccessful hunt or being exposed to a predator literally meant life or death. And it's been shown that these early humans, more tuned into risks, successfully avoided them and lived longer. So evolution wired us into our brains. But today, the exact opposite is true. Optimists actually live longer. Now, there are uncertainties we all face that are a really big deal. I know so many people that are struggling right now after getting laid off. But we tend to put that same mindset into everything that happens to us. And these situations are not life and death. It doesn't really matter if my kids are late for school. Living with chronic focus on the negative absolutely crushes our health. So what can we do about it? Our brain can actually be rewired to believe what we want it to. You've probably heard of the placebo effect. Well, there's this really cool study that took it even a step further. Instead of an active pill and a placebo, as a prelude to the Matrix, 50 Harvard students were given a super stimulant red pill and another 50 were given a super tranquilizer blue pill. Now, as expected, students with the red pill felt energized and those that took the blue pill got tired. But here's the thing. The pills were actually switched. The students thinking they got a stimulant actually got the tranquilizer and vice versa. So in this case, the mind was actually more powerful than the substance. Now, here's another example. Say you're on a 5-mile run and at around mile 3, you start to get tired. You keep going, but at a pretty slow pace. But then as you get closer to the end, say around mile 4.5, you pick up your pace and finish with a near sprint. Now, what happened? How did your body suddenly create new energy at the end of the run that it didn't have in the middle of the run? Well, it didn't. It was just your mind telling yourself you were tired. And it's this protective mechanism so to make sure we don't overdo it. But then it let yourself go knowing the run was almost over. So we really underestimate the power of our mind. And how do we harness this power to use it as we want? Well, first, we have to identify what triggers us. When do you immediately get angry or anxious? When does fear consume your mind? Write down the top 3 to 5 triggers so that you can be aware of them. Because the more you understand something, the more you can control it. And just by making this a focus, your mind will start to work for you and not against you in these situations. All right, well, that's all for today's podcast. Stay tuned for our next episode coming out Wednesday this week. Thanks for listening and have an awesome day. While we strive to provide informative and inspiring content, the information shared in this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as medical advice. Always consult with your healthcare provider for any personal health concerns or before starting a new health regimen.